So in chapter 26, as in chapter 12, 14 chapters earlier, the high priest's pounce. It's also one of those mystery cards with the pyramids in the back. Here they're focusing on the mystery of the Passover. And in the 14 cards earlier, in chapter 12, it was focusing mostly on the Sabbath and the Lord of the Sabbath. And the Passover in this one, in chapter 26, is more like the Sabbath of the year. The Passover is like a higher octave Sabbath, because it's like the Sabbath of Sabbaths. Basically, it's that time of year when all the people in Judea leave the country. Not all the people, but where you're supposed to. Jewish people back then were supposed to leave their house to go to Jerusalem and celebrate the Passover in Jerusalem. Here, Jesus tells his disciples that in 2 days is the feast of the Passover, when the Son of Man will be betrayed and crucified. And meanwhile, the chief priests and scribes and elders assemble at the palace of the high priest Caiaphas, and they conspire as to how to kill Jesus. They agree not on the feast day because of a possible uproar that might happen among the people. In Bethany, in Simon the leper's house, a woman comes to Jesus with an alabaster box of precious ointment and pours it on his head. The disciples are outraged because of the value of the ointment, which could have gone to helping the poor. But Jesus tells them to leave her be, that there'll always be poor people to take care of, but that he won't be around much longer. He explains that this ointment is for his burial, and that this very story will eventually be preached in the Gospels. And then Judas Iscariot goes to the high priest to find out how much they would pay him to betray Jesus, which is settled at 30 pieces of silver. On the first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the disciples ask Jesus where they should prepare to eat the Passover. He says, "Go into the city to such a man and tell him, the Master says my time is at hand, and I will keep the Passover at your house with my disciples." At the Passover itself, Jesus tells his disciples that one of them will betray him, saying, "Woe to him that betrays the Son of Man. It would be better for him if he hadn't been born at all." Judas then asks, "Is it me?" And Jesus answers, "You have said it." Jesus then takes the bread and breaks it and passes it around, telling them to eat it, for it is his body. Then he raises the wine cup and tells them to drink it, for it is his blood of the New Testament, shed for many for the remission of sins, and says that he won't drink again of the vine until they all drink it anew in his Father's kingdom. After this, they all go to the Mount of Olives, where he predicts that they'll all renounce him this very night, which is to fulfill the prophecy of God smiting the shepherd as to scatter his flock abroad. Peter rebukes this prophecy, to which Jesus tells him that in fact Peter will deny Jesus 3 times before the cock crows. Later at Gethsemane, Jesus takes with him Peter, John, and James, and being very sorrowful, he goes off a little ways by himself to pray, asking God that if it be possible to let this cup pass from him. But he ends the prayer with, "Not as I will, but as you will it." He returns to find his disciples sleeping and reproaches them for it, and he returns to pray the same prayer, and then comes back to find them sleeping again. And he goes back to pray, and finally returns to tell his disciples that they could sleep now, and take their rest, for the Son of Man has been betrayed, and that the one who betrays him is on his way. Just then Judas appears with armed men, and he kisses Jesus so as to identify him. When the men approach Jesus, a disciple takes a sword and lops an ear off one of the men. Jesus orders him to put the sword down, for all that take the sword, he says, will perish by the sword. "Don't you think," he continues, "that if I wanted to, I could call 12 legions of angels from my Father? But then how would the scriptures ever be fulfilled?" He's then led away to the high priest Caiaphas, where the chief priests try to find any kind of false witness against him. And finally they find someone who falsely testifies that they heard Jesus boast about being able to destroy the temple of God, and then rebuild it in 3 days. Jesus refuses to defend himself. He's then asked if he is indeed the Christ, and Jesus says, "You've said it," and tells them that from here on in, they'll see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power and coming in the clouds of heaven. The high priest screams blasphemy, and the rest of the priests declare him guilty, and that he should be put to death. And they spit in his face and slap him and mock him. Just outside, a woman comes to Peter, who's sitting in the outer palace, and asks him if he was with Jesus, and he denies it. Not long after that, another woman asks him the same thing, and he denies it again. And later still, to a group of people, he denies it again, swearing up and down that he has nothing to do with Jesus. Just then the cock crows, and Peter, remembering the prediction, goes outside to weep.